Hi, I'm Steve Finzel with Finzel's Mastertech, and I'm here today to explain what is included with an oil change on today's late model vehicles. I've seen this on social media. I've had people ask me, I've had customers come in and refer to, I just need an oil change. It's just an oil change. And it made me start thinking about what exactly is an oil change. It used to be that an oil change was every 3 months, 3,000 miles. You were in and out of your shop 3-4 times a year, where there was plenty of chances to see all kinds of different things that are happening with the car that would need attention. You also were changing spark plugs every 30,000 miles. So you could be in where they're digging into your engine, taking things apart once a year, once every other year, that kind of thing. With today's maintenance, and the manufacturers have moved a lot of things out that aren't even due till 100,000 miles. What is an oil change? Well, if you look at your owner's manual, there's several things that need to be inspected throughout doing that oil change. And some manufacturers recommend that that's done every 5,000 miles. Some say 7,500, some say 10,000. Do you know that? Has everybody read their owner's manual? Not necessarily. That's why you depend on a professional like Finzel's Mastertech, okay? So an oil change, when you come in for an oil change, there's a lot of factors that have changed. When we were 3 months, 3,000 miles, we had black carbon in the tailpipe, where we're blowing emissions out the back of the car. We had one timing chain. We changed the oil every 3,000 miles. That's how we were getting the carbon out of the engine. Then catalytic converters came in. Then computer controlled fuel came in, and we kept, the standard was to keep reducing emissions so that less carbon went out the tailpipe. Today, where is that carbon? That carbon is in your engine. So what is an oil change? We've got to not only change the oil to get the carbon that's in the oil, keep the engine inside of the engine clean from carbon, because we know it's not going out the tailpipe. So a couple different things here. New engines, closer tolerances, variable valve timing, multiple timing chains, 4 valves per cylinder. This carbon is building up in all those areas. So the manufacturer says, well, you could change your oil every 7,500 miles because we've changed the oil. We have changed from a conventional oil to synthetic blends that are good for up to 5,000 miles to full synthetic oils that'll do that 7,500 or 100,000 mile, or 100,000 mile, sorry, 10,000 mile intervals on an oil change. So like this oil here is a 10,000 mile advanced oil. We've got this engine oil here that is emission control oil, okay? We've got this here that's advanced fuel economy, and we've got this one that's approved for Euro, or vice versa. One of these two was the Euro oil. So there's all these different specs. Excuse me. Whoa. There's all these different specs for oil. When we go to the quick lube or we go to just any old garage, are they stocking the oil that's the right oil for your car? Don't know. That's a question that you should ask. That's a question that your service advisor should be telling you. This is the oil to keep your car up to snuff. This is going to help with carbon. What's the other thing that needs to happen during an oil change? Is it just drain the oil, fill the oil, put a new filter on, check the air in the tires and ship it? Well, remember, we're seeing it once a year. So we need the tires off the vehicle. We need to see the brakes while we're doing an oil change. We need to check the suspension to see if the suspension components are tight and valid and not going to wear your tires out. We need to check under the car for leaks, fluid leaks and stuff like that, along with your engine air filter, your cabin filter inside the vehicle, all your fluid levels. Do the tires need to be rotated? All of those kind of things are now part of an oil change because we're seeing you once a year. Like we have one time sometimes, maybe twice a year, to see what's going on with this vehicle. Now let's talk about the carbon. Most cars used to be like a carburetor, or then we went to fuel injection. We're still putting the fuel in the engine outside of the cylinders. Direct injection, GDI, gas direct injection, that is, we're spraying the fuel right into the cylinder itself. So it is not cleaning the carbon out. So to go in and decarbon the engine, okay, every 30,000 miles on this service, put this in a tank that I dropped into a pressurized system and be able to run this product through the intake, through the back of the valves, into the cylinders, cleaning the carbon from the engine. And then when you get done, you would finish with an upper intake cleaner, which is from where the air enters the engine all the way through the intake manifold, basically like rinse cycle, if you would say, through the engine. And then where does all that go? It goes down in the oil. Now it's time to do the oil change. With an oil cleaner. Then when you fill the oil, you fill with an advanced treatment or a conditioner for the oil. This also will soften any carbon that is starting to harden throughout the engine and build up, start softening it so that it will get into the oil, work through the system. And then a fuel guard to help with that carbon buildup that gets put into the fuel tank. This would be considered a 3-part GDI, gas direct injection oil change routine. Is this $39.95? An oil change is. Then you add a chemical package on top of it, and you're probably looking at the $69, $79 minimum for an oil change, okay? When you go in and you pressurize the system and open it up, you're talking about a complete different level. But remember, this is a 30,000 mile interval, which is gonna be, with an average driver, 1.5 to 2 years for the full service. And then the GDI oil change, we recommend with our customers every other oil change, and then you could just do a regular one in between. So as you can see, what is an oil change? An oil change is a lot more than jacking it up in the driveway, draining the oil, putting a new filter on it, if you even do that, fill the oil back up, and I'm good to go. Quantify, qualify, what is an oil change on today's vehicles? I'm Steve Finzel with Finzel's Mastertech. Car problems, we fix it.